Jack is extremely squirrel obsessed. I mean, he fixates instantaneously. He can see a squirrel 200 feet away. He goes over threshold immediately. Lunging, everything. He goes just ballistic. This can be an extremely difficult behavior to change. Cat obsession is pretty easy to change. I mean, you just get a cat, you put it in a crate, like a wire-sided crate, and you start walking in circles around it, and you can desensitize your dog to a cat really easily this way, probably in one day. The difference is you can control the distance to the cat and all those variables. Squirrels move so quickly, you never know where they're going to be. They make noise. They take it to a whole different level. And that makes it extremely difficult, unless you have a trained squirrel that you can teach to dance around in front of your dog. I've been racking my brain to come up with a way to approach this problem, because he goes over threshold way too quickly. I can't predict where the squirrels are going to be or when. Here's what I came up with. And I tried it out yesterday, and I'm very happy to say I think this is going to work. I'm going to start off with a picture of a squirrel or some audio from the squirrels playing on my phone or computer. I tried this out yesterday. It was actually a video. I turned the volume down of a squirrel moving fairly slowly. It wasn't too enticing, just enough to pique Jack's interest. So he would start looking over there with his ears up a little bit, but he wasn't fixated. He wasn't over threshold. I worked about 5-10 feet away. I had him on the prong collar. As soon as he'd stare at the squirrel, Jack leave, and as soon as he snapped out of it, good boy. We walked back and forth about half a dozen times. He stopped looking at the squirrel altogether. I work at that level for a couple of days until he completely ignores the video on the screen. I may have to start off on my phone with a really small screen, no volume, far away. It depends how reactive the dog is. And then I ever so slightly ratchet it up to the next level. Maybe I turn up the volume a little bit. I use a slightly larger window on the screen. Something till he peaks again. So he was ignoring it at that one level. Now I ratchet it up ever so slightly, and now he's kind of interested again. Ooh, what's that? But not over threshold. Still holding it together. And I work at that level for a couple of days. And eventually, within a few weeks, I'll have him in front of my TV, which is way bigger than my computer screen, at high volume with about a dozen squirrels running around on the screen. If you're doing this properly, your dog will actually turn away and look the other direction. So after a few passes, Jack figures out, I don't want him looking at that squirrel, and every time we walk by, he'll turn and look the other direction. This can be a very challenging technique. In fact, I sell a video on my website called Dealing with Distractions for $60, a 2-hour video that goes into excruciating detail on this technique. Once we've mastered that, then we'll start working outside. That's going to be the difficult transition right there.